Hello and welcome guys to another video, and today we have the final of the Radical Track Guide series. So this is the last track for the Racing Prodigy. This is Circuit de Navarra. So this is the full circuit, not any of the short circuits. And this is a nice combo for the final round. It's quite a challenging circuit because it's very easy to lock up the tyres. So I'm sure the racing will be very exciting for this. So let's get straight into it after the hot lap. So let's get into the guide. Coming into the first corner, this is a flat, full throttle corner. I don't really have a turn-in point, and I'm not really getting close to this apex at all. I'm just following the bend of the track here, really. You could probably use this blue cone as sort of a turn-in marker, start turning the wheel there, but you really don't want to get that close to this curb, because the main focus of this corner is to be as far left and as straight as possible, because you want to brake in a straight line here. So I brake about 40-50%, get into fourth gear, and then get back on the power just to raise the nose of the car before I go over this curb. And then when I brake for here, I want the wheel straight. So as you see, I'm turning here, get the turn in done, and then as soon as I go to straighten the wheel, I get on the brakes. So getting on the brakes, all the way down in the first gear, and then just try and get a very late apex. So if you rewind a bit here, you can't actually see it from this angle. Let me show you chase. There's this red sausage curb here, and basically just before it ends around about here. This is where we're kind of aiming for our apex, just before the end of that red sausage curb. And what you want to do is straighten the wheel as early as possible and get on the power. It can be easy for the rear to step out in first gear, so you can short shift into second gear, or you can also do that corner in second gear if you want a bit more stability, but I found first gear faster. The turn in for this left-hander, the actual apex is sort of blind, but where this grass ends and the runoff starts is where I turn in. You can use a little bit of this curb, just be careful not to unsettle the car too much because it's quite a high speed corner. I tend to just avoid it. Now this corner is quite difficult because you're braking and turning on quite a long corner, and you can see on the minimap this is quite a long corner, and then we're into a really tight left-hander. So this is where it's very easy to just lose the rear by yourself. So I brake for this corner just before this curb. So see where this white triangle starts at the start of the curb? This is my braking marker, and I'm braking into fourth gear, just to lose a little bit of speed, get it turned in, and then I've got a little bit of power just to keep it planted going around the corner, and then try and get it over to the right as far as you can. And as soon as I start to straighten the wheel, you want to brake. Try and have the wheel as straight as possible when you brake, into second gear, and you want as light an apex as possible for this corner. Just be really careful not to take too much of this curb, because it's very easy to unsettle it. So as you see, I'm just feathering in the throttle, getting that late apex, using the flat curb, trying not to go too far over the curb. And then you can use all this curb on the right, get on the power fully now, and you can actually use this curb to rotate the car around this right-hander. Excuse me. So use that curb. I do lift to like 80% just for a brief second there. In this server I found that I was losing a bit of rear grip on this corner. In some servers you might be absolutely fine, so you just have to test that. You should be able to do that flat, but I just found that I needed to lift slightly. Now coming into this left-hander, this is one that I found it quite easy to lock the tyres if you did it wrong. My braking marker is the 50-meter board, which you can see here just behind my track map. This 50-meter board, I'm braking just a little bit before that. From the cockpit view, there isn't really any braking reference, but on my triple screen, the 50-meter board disappears from this corner onto my side monitor, and just after that I brake. But there isn't really any other braking marker, so that can be a bit awkward. I go all the way into first gear. You can do this in second gear, but I found that I got more rotation going into first gear. Avoid the red sausage curb, just use this red and white curbing. And then use all this exit curbing to really open up the track as much as possible. Now coming into this right-hander, this is almost a hairpin really. I brake at the start of this curbing or the 100-meter board, whichever's an easier reference for you to use, all the way into first gear, and I use all of this curb because we're going, what speed are we at right now, like 80 kilometers. I use all of this curb. It's fairly flat. Just check for your track limits, make sure you're aware of the track limits, and don't trigger the off track here, but you can use a lot of that curb. And what we're trying to do with this is we've got this little right kink, and then we're going to have a sharp left. So I'm trying to set up this right-hander so that I can exit it on the right-hand side of the track. So as you see, I'm turning in quite early into this corner, and I'm just feathering my throttle to about 50% so that I can enter this tight left-hander on the right side of the track. So as you see, I let it go out a little bit and then bring it back in, and I brake at this 50-meter board. Braking into second gear, and I get a little bit of a snap of oversteer, so I had to turn out there. But you want to clip this apex curb, try and use this apex curb. I just miss it because I get a little bit of oversteer. I only use a little bit, but you can use a lot more than that. Then on the exit here, this is really nice. You've got this rumble strip as well. You can use all this exit here. Just don't trigger the off track. Into this left-hander, brake at the start of the red and white curbing. Keep it in second gear. Use this curb. I tend to find though that if you clip any of these little sausage curbs, it can really unsettle the car. So try and just clip this red and white curbing here. Again, use all this exit rumble strip. Then coming into this right-hander, again, I'm braking at the start of this long white triangle. Braking into second gear, oh first gear, sorry for this one. And very similar again, just a standard corner. Don't use this red sausage curb, just use the red and white flat curbing. And try and open up the steering wheel as early as possible. Use all of this rumble strip on the exit, get on the power, just watch the rear sliding, I feather on the power. Here's full throttle, I turn in just where this Marshall box is, just before that disappears off my middle monitor, I'm turning into the corner. And then, similar to that corner earlier on, we're not letting the car go all the way to the right. We're coming into a tight right-hander, so we want to be on the left side of the track. So I lift off the power, as you see a little bit, and then get on the brakes. And again, I'm braking as much as I can with the wheel straight. And my braking is just where this red and white tyre wall starts. So that's my braking marker. Braking as that disappears off the side of my middle screen. Braking all the way into first gear. You can use second gear, but I found first gear got a little bit better acceleration. And just turn in as late as possible. I shift into first gear on this lap just a little bit too early. You hear the tires want to lock up, but you just want to try and get as late in apex as possible and set yourself up so you can get on the power as early as possible. And use all this exit curbing as well. Just be careful on this apex that you don't clip too much of this sausage curbs here. They're not really a sausage curb, I don't know what you call these little ones. But if you clip that, it can be really easy to unsettle the car. And especially with it being full throttle, basically until turn 2. From that point, you do not want to compromise that exit in the race. So sometimes in the race, it can be better to sacrifice an overtake in that corner to set yourself up to get the slipstream down the main straight. You don't want to leave yourself vulnerable coming out of that corner. Even on the last lap, it's still quite a run from that corner to the line. So do be careful to not mess up your run out of that corner, because that will be very important for the race, because it's very easy to send a dive bomb into this corner because it's got such a wide entry, but you can really compromise yourself on the exit. But that is it for today, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this series. Hopefully for the next iRacing season, I'll be doing more track guides for whichever series I'm driving. But yes, hope you guys enjoyed. As always, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and see you again next time.